What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Around the Table Sports. So the last time I made a video, we were talking about how hyper-efficient Mac Jones has been, and that certainly didn't change against Tennessee. I think while he didn't have 400 yards and he didn't throw a passing touchdown, that was more of a result to me of the offense really being committed to the run game, which was unstoppable all game. Najee had whatever he wanted. Trey Sanders really looked good. I think he showed what a lot of the coaching staff and people who know the inside of the program have been lauding him for a long time. I wasn't overly worried by his questionable start when he started against Missouri and did not look great that game. And come the fourth quarter, Bryce Young was in. In fact, I would argue that the Jalen Waddle injury, had Jalen Waddle not gotten hurt, Bama would have put up 400 yards passing. Mac Jones would have thrown a couple passing touchdowns. He would have had 400 yards. He would have broke 4 SEC games at 400 yards. But that's not what happened. And in fact, we're not even here to talk about what happened this weekend. We're here to talk about one of the most intriguing recruits in all of the 2021 class committing to the University of Alabama yesterday, McKinstry, the #1 cornerback in the nation. And I think it's really important because how interesting of a recruit he is. So before we jump into it, as always, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I couldn't help but notice that most people who watch my videos aren't subscribed. And while y'all, I'm absolutely just thrilled that people are interested in checking out my videos. That means the world to me because I really love doing this. I'd love it if y'all could subscribe because it would help me grow the channel. And it would just be a good time for everyone involved. Like the video if you enjoy it, comment down below, let me know who your squad is, and I can do some videos talking about their recruits and everything. With all that being said, let's jump straight into the Alabama Crimson Tide's insane 2021 class. Because as it sits now, the Crimson Tide are sitting at 22 commits. And y'all, if you haven't seen my videos going back even into midsummer, Alabama was super intriguing this year because at one point in April, they were the 55th best recruiting class in the nation. Then in the summer, all of a sudden, they make incredible leeway, hit the #2 class in the nation, in a time when nobody thought Ohio State could be surpassed. Now, Ohio State has been surpassed, and they have been for some time, but with the McKinstry commit, Alabama firmly cements themselves in first place. Now, I say firmly, depending on who they get as a recruit, Ohio State could leapfrog Alabama. It would probably take them 1 to 2 commits. If they got a big 5-star Emeka Egbuka, if they got JT Tumalea, I think they'd probably leapfrog Alabama. But that's kind of what it's going to take for them to be able to just straight up leapfrog them. Anything else will get them very close to tied. Because right now, Alabama has 310.25 points to Ohio State's 304.22. Average rating of the recruit for Alabama is a 94.20. Ohio State's a 94.21. And this is incredible because I've been saying this for the longest amount of time. Everyone this year thought it was a foregone conclusion that Ohio State was going to break the all-time record for the best recruiting class ever. And I agree. But I happen to think that 2 schools will break it this year. Alabama and Ohio State. I think we're going to see the 2 best recruiting classes we've ever seen in one fell swoop this year. And why do I think that? Because Alabama and Ohio State aren't slowing down. JT Tumalea is seriously considering both institutions. I mean, if we're just looking at the top prospects left on the board, there are still 5-star guys considering both places. I just talked about JT Tumalea. Already with Ohio State, Emeka Egbuka looks to be a Ohio State lean. Now, OU is doing some interesting things. We'll see what OU can do to kind of equalize the playing field there. Outside of that, you have guys such as Sage Ryan, who, even though he's a crystal ball to LSU, is considering Alabama. I don't know how likely that is, though. I think he probably sticks with LSU in that crystal ball. He's from the area. He's from Lafayette Christian Academy. I'd be very surprised if he leaves LSU. The number 32 player in the nation, Tumis Adelea, is still considering between Texas and Alabama. There are a few other places, but I really think that Alabama is the heavy here. He was a former Ohio State commit, and he's one that could jump into 5-star territory. So Alabama and Ohio State continue just lapping the field. It's going to be incredibly interesting because they're both still in the works for massive amounts of 5 stars. But what Alabama is getting in 5-star McKinstry, incredible corner with incredible ball skills. I know his 40 might be a little bit concerning, but if you just watch him play, I'm not too worried about his 40. That'll all be good. He can play multiple spots in the defensive backfield. He can play some at receiver, and the Alabama Crimson Tide is going to get a very good basketball player as well. So all in all, a very big win for Alabama. He could be a really, really key point to this class because remember, it was this year that's so necessary for the DB position because Surtain is leaving to the draft. Now, Malachi Moore, Brian Branch, true freshmen who are just crushing it out there for Alabama. But that's a position where the current game of football is predicated around. So you can never have too many big name guys. Dave Aranda and LSU made just a career out of stacking great corners and having great corner play. And hopefully that's what Alabama is doing right here, but what a pickup for the University of Alabama, grabbing 5-star Jaquincy McKinstry. That's it for this video. Be sure to check out the channel and stay alerted because there will be more podcast news coming out soon. That's it. See ya.